Gang, Neeves Knives. I'm Jared, and this is the new Kizer October in titanium and S35VN. Now, the original version came with 20 CV, or should I say the micarta version comes in 20 CV. Now, I'm guessing they used S35VN to bring the price down just a little bit, or to keep it in a good price range, or about $179 for this. Now, don't forget, I got a 10% discount code for Mojave Outdoors, but and you know, I try to link as much as I can down below. This is a prototype right now, so I can't link it yet, but it will be available very, very soon. Now, you can watch a video on this, because I do have full review on this one, and these are available. They have a blacked out version and this red and stone washed version, so these are available. Now, this one right here. This one has a couple differences that are going to be different from the new one, but it's only one thing, and it is the blade stock thickness. So if you look at, well, here, let me just close them. If you look at the blade stock thickness, mine on this one is thicker than this one. They are going to be like this, though. This is just a prototype, so 140 thousandths blade stock thickness. Now, we'll talk about the action, and then we'll talk about cutting and everything else. So the action is amazing on these. The detent is so well tuned, and the flipper tab is so, the placement where you put your finger is so high compared to the center of the pivot, and it's so close that as long as you flip it the way you're supposed to, which is a light switch, it's so hard to fail. I've tried failing this thing over and over and over, and I just can't. I can't fail it. Now, the way I can fail it is if I push button it, because then the top of the blade comes around and hits your finger, but that doesn't really count, does it? If I flip it how it's supposed to be flipped, I can't fail it. I just can't. So if you mean to flip it, obviously it's flipping reliably every day of the week. Now, the reverse flick is also amazing. It's very well tuned for both actions, and the thumb flick is also really good. But with the fuller, you can go all the way down here and get it, or you can get it right in the middle. Doesn't matter. You can get maximum leverage, I guess, down here, but you get just as good leverage right there in the middle. So the action on this thing is awesome. Really, really good action. Now, this orange peel finish, it is so awesome. It's so soft in the hand. Everything is so soft. So the lock bar, when you unlock this thing, it is the most softest lock bar I think I've ever felt on a knife. It's so, so soft. And if you guys have ever felt a lock bar that's very comfortable and smooth, and I mean specifically the texture, not the pressure, when you feel it so smooth and so soft, it just makes the knife feel that much more high end. And that's how this one feels. Now, it does have a detent ramp put into it, so when you unlock it, if you do hit the ramp, you can push past it very easily, or you can swing past it. But you are going to hit it if you put your finger up top right there where the flipper tab hits you. Now, it's very easy to just drop your finger down a little bit and get past it. So it's very easy to get past that, or you can let it go way past. So unlocking it, very smooth. Very, very good action. Now, going back to this finish is very, very, very durable. There's a reason why it's so durable. It has something to do with the process. It makes the finish a lot harder than it would be if it wasn't a if it was just a regular titanium finish. But you can see here, I mean, it's almost like I didn't do anything. I mean, it's just such a durable finish, and I've done that, I don't know, 5 times with different knives. So I even did it on a live and showed people. It's extremely durable. So you're not going to have to worry about tossing it around or using it as a tool or anything like that. Now, a lot of people said that this looks like Captain America's shield. And yeah, I'd agree. It does. It definitely resembles Captain America's shield. I don't mind it though. The blue looks pretty cool to me. They've got the back spacers, the screws, T8 screws, by the way. Love seeing that. So very, very awesome look. It has a really good look to it. And in the hand, it is super duper comfortable. In my opinion, I'm very comfortable with this knife in my hand. Now, talking about the clip, you see how pokey it is. It does look very pokey. However, because of this finish, it makes all the edges very smooth. Now, this is kind of pokey, but in my hand, it just winds up landing right in a spot where I don't feel it. I don't feel it at all. If I hold it back here, yes, I do feel it now because it lands right there. But it's not really bad. And I don't hold the knife like this. I always hold it like this. Always. It's either like this or like this. And in any of those, or maybe like this. But in all those grips, it's very comfortable in the hand. The jimping on the spine is the exact kind of jimping I like because it's not overly sharp, but it creates traction. So when you're in this grip right here, you're locked in. Very solid. Now, cutting with this thing, you might as well just watch me use this knife because the geometry is going to be like this, not like this. So this one is going to be like the Halloween version, but it's thinner, and behind the edge thickness is about 18 thousandths behind the edge. So it's not crazy thin, but it's not thick. It is a great thickness behind the edge, and it cuts really, really good. So no issues with cutting, and you have a lot of leverage through the cuts just because of the way this kind of curls around your hand and puts all the pressure distributed across your palm really nicely. No real serious bumps or anything like that. So cutting with it, it's going to be really good. Now, choked up like this, I do feel the clip a tiny, tiny bit, but it's never bothered me. And I brought this thing to work. I've used it a ton. So, and I've enjoyed carrying it. And the utility cuts, even with this thick blade, it cuts really good. Now, even with this thick blade, it cuts really good in regular cuts. Push cuts, slicing, it cuts just fine. No issues cutting with this thing. But it is a little thicker behind the edge and a little thicker blade stock, but it still cuts really good. You do get a little resistance with the fuller, just like any fuller. But the utility cuts, it's like a claw. So it doesn't matter if you're doing sideways cuts, opening up a box, or getting on the side of a box, or whatever. It just works really good in the hand for utility cuts. So opening things up or any sort of draw cuts, this thing's going to be amazing. Now, the clip in and out of the pocket. The clip works great in and out of the pocket, and it's so solid. Like, I feel like it's welded to this thing because the screw is on the inside and it's one screw, but holy cow, this thing won't move for the life of me. I mean, it's not, I don't think it's in set. It's just super solid. It's crazy how solid it is. But in and out of the pocket, very smooth. It works great. The clip is nice in and out of the pocket. It's got a good thickness to where the ramp, slides over your jeans really nicely. Doesn't snag, doesn't tear your pockets up or anything like that. So yeah, the clip works great for carrying. Now, it's not very deep. It does have a little bit hanging out, as you can see, but they have this ramp right here on the clip, so it's really nice actually pulling it in and out of the pocket and having something to kind of grab onto. The one downfall I would say, if I was going to really have any complaints, so it's just that it is a little pokey, but I think they might have did that on purpose, because I'm guessing if they would have knocked it off right here, then in this grip, maybe I would feel it a little bit more. I think maybe by extending it out, maybe it helped. I don't know. The only way I would be able to tell is if I knocked this down myself, because I know people look at it and like, man, that clip looks pointy. It really doesn't bother me though, personally. But I agree though, it does look that was my fault. It does look pokey, and it is pokey if you touch it, but Just in use, it's not. Now, the next complaint I would have, if I was going to have any complaints, which I really don't, and it's a prototype, so things can change. Well, I'm pretty sure nothing's going to change besides the thickness of the blade. That's it. Everything else is going to be the same. Now, there's no milling on the inside, but I don't care. I think this weight is great. I really do, because this version is almost too light for me. Even though it's great, I do like it a lot, but man, it's just so light. It almost feels like you're not holding a tool. And sometimes I like feeling like I'm holding a tool. Now, this one's not too heavy or anything like that. It's very wieldable, but it doesn't have any milling. And I know some people count their grams and count the ounces of their knife, but man, this thing isn't big enough to be too heavy. So great size, great weight, great action, great cutter, great lockup, locked up extremely solid. It does have internal stop pins. Now, I don't know if you would be able to switch blades or anything like that. I'm guessing you could. I can't because my blade is thicker on this one, but maybe if you had both of them, maybe you could. I'm not positive. I didn't try it because there's no point for me to try it because this one won't fit. So, is that going to make it a little thinner than the one I have? Yeah, a little tiny bit, but it's going to be so minute that I don't know if you'd be able to tell the difference in the hand gripping it as much as maybe maybe in cutting, because it isn't that much thicker, but it is a little bit thicker. So there you guys go, man. The knife is awesome. I definitely recommend it. It's a great knife, great build quality, great everything. It looks good, and I really like the micarta version. So I'm gonna say, if you like the micarta version, you're really gonna like the titanium version. It's swelled, it's thicker, it's more contoured. This one's slightly contoured, but barely. It's more flat than contoured. This one's actually contoured, so it gives you great ergos in the hand. So there you guys go. I love you guys. Thank you guys for watching. Peace.